this is the launch of our report, which we've been working on for ages, Rebalancing Innovation, Women, AI and Venture Capital in the UK.
I'm Professor Judy Wajcman, and this is my colleague, Dr. Erin Young, and we run a project at the Alan Turing Institute that's called Women in Data Science and AI and Artificial Intelligence.
We've known for decades that there's been an underrepresentation of women in STEM fields, finance fields, technology more generally. But with the massive boom in interest and investment in AI, particularly in the last year, particularly in generative AI, it's ever more important that we're including women in not only the development of AI, but also the financing of these systems, because this is shaping the kind of systems that we're building and what they're being used for. So our most recent report, which launches our Rebalancing Innovation project, exploring gender diversity in AI-focused venture capital in the UK, found significant gender disparities in both the investors in AI, but also the founders of AI startups. We found that female-founded startups won just 2% of VC funding involving AI companies in the UK. We found that this problem is significantly worse in AI compared to all sectors. And so simply put, there's a bigger problem in AI.
This gender division is being replicated, and women are somehow again missing out on the fruits of technological advances. And when I say that, I want to say two things. I mean, one thing is that, you know, they're missing out on fully participating in innovation, in ideas, in having their ideas kind of explored, you know, so that as a society, we're missing out on a whole lot of imaginative, creative content of half the population.
The report is based on data from the PitchBook platform, and we conducted descriptive statistical analysis of this data from 2012 to 2022 in order to explore the landscape of venture capital in AI in the UK. One of our key findings was that average capital raised per deal by a female-founded AI companies, this is 1.3 million, is 6 times lower than the average capital raised by an all-male founder team in AI, which is about 8.6 million. Based on our findings, we also published within the report some recommendations for governments and the private sector. And an important one was that we recommend VC firms more closely monitor their investment practices, thinking about the kinds of teams that they're investing in, the makeup of the teams, and the kind of technologies that these teams are building.
And it would be good for investment companies to look to themselves as well and check that at partnership level, at decision-making level, that they have got a diverse, set of investors actually, which may help, we hope, diversify the sort of companies that they're willing to invest in. There's lots of discussions and proposals about what should be done, including by the government, but very little evidence base, actually. You know, that if we had a better evidence base, we'd be able to be a bit more specific in a way about, the best recommendations. So there's a real, a gender knowledge gap, a real gender data gap that we're very concerned to address.
And for the UK to be central in AI development in the world, we're actually missing out on so much opportunity that women could be bringing to the table in this space. What we do find heartening, despite some of the figures in our report, is that there are really good practices happening around the world. And we'd love to think about how we can learn from these in the UK, thinking about how countries such as Germany or states like California, thinking about collecting diversity statistics in venture capital and what we could learn from policy recommendations and interventions around the world in order to increase equity in these spaces. So I think there is a lot to be hopeful about, and I think we are on the right trajectory, but we still have a long way to go.
So part of what we want to do in the next phase is to really learn from examples of good practice in order to be able to kind of make suggestions for how we can build on them within the UK.
For our next steps as well, we'd like to continue working with the private sector and government in order to work out how our policy recommendations can be made tangible and can be made into good interventions to really have on the ground impact in this space. And I think it's a really good time for us to be working on this. I think there's a lot of opportunity in the space, which is very exciting.